Hey there. So my name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting this set of essays for you. Thanks for sending them back in a Word document. Very helpful. Let's take a look at what you wrote. The first one is a letter, the English and Homestay letter. So let's see what you said. I'm writing to you as I will be visiting the UK for the English and Homestay program, and I would like to gather some important details about the UK prior to my arrival. My name is Jane, a 22-year-old from India. I recently graduated from university and have been working as an accountant for a couple of months. Okay, I like your introduction. I thought you did a great job in terms of your grammar. The information you included was fine. There's one major problem. I don't know um, if it, if it should be fairly obvious. It's missing a salutation. So you're supposed to start your letter, dear so and so, and it might seem like a minor detail, but in fact, you are being graded on this information. It all has to do with the structure and the coherence and cohesion portion of this. So if you're missing information, that's going to affect that score. So a lovely paragraph, but without the salutation, it's definitely going to drop down that score. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's going to drop it down probably further than you anticipate. So let's look at the next paragraph. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is that this so really feels rather informal. You don't know these people, you've never met them before, and so you definitely want to lean more formal. Therefore, so is not totally appropriate, as I've and other contractions are also not really appropriate. That would be considered kind of flip flopping between your registers, and you don't want to do that. So you want to lean more formal here, okay? You could have said prior to visiting the UK or before visiting. You don't even need the so here. So just start off with before. Before visiting the UK, I would like to know some vital information regarding traveling and expenses. Since I will be coming alone, it would be ideal if you could provide me with a general idea about the common modes of travel available, the convenience of using these methods, and also the rough estimate of the cost per each mode of travel. Okay, good. This is bizarre here. I don't know why you have this although. Maybe it was a typo, so get rid of it. I have finalized my airline tickets, and you don't need a comma here. You don't need that. My flight will be landing on the 30th of May, 2022. Therefore, if everything goes according to plan, I will be arriving at your house on the same day at around 1 p.m. Okay, that's good. So everything here is lovely. I already told you about this contraction. But as far as endings go, this is really rather abrupt. You have this last bit here of your scheduled arrival and time, and then you go straight to your sign off. So this feels particularly abrupt. What you could have done is just wrap it up with a lovely closing. Okay, just a separate line in a separate paragraph. So thank you again. I'm really looking forward to meeting you next month. That's really all you need. Just a closing, a nice little wrap up, thanking them, telling them you're looking forward to it, telling them how excited you are about your trip, something. But these are one of the conventions of formal letter writing. So do keep that in mind, okay? So to wrap up with this particular task, grammar was very good, vocabulary was very good, your language level is excellent, but you do need to kind of concern yourself with some of the other elements of letter writing, which is including the salutation, having a closing which feels, pleasant and formal, and then just making sure that you are consistent with the register, that you are consistently formal, or if necessary, in a different writing task, informal or even semi formal. Okay, so those are the things that I want you to keep in mind here. Unfortunately, the missing salutation and even the missing closing would lower your score. So do be aware of that, okay? Which is a shame because it looks like your writing is at a nice high level. All right, so with that, let's take a look at your task two. All right, so let's look at this one, the international marketing essay. Here's what you wrote. Often, international advertising is seen as a way of intruding to that particular country. However, another group challenges that opinion because they think it is vital for the economy and to spread ideas, language, and culture. In my opinion, the pros outweigh the cons of international marketing. Okay, so your position is clear here, and that's good. That's fine. I did feel like some of the language in the two previous sentences was a little awkward. So I did want to address that with you. So a way of intruding into, you can't say that particular country because you haven't referred to any country. So often international, and you didn't need a capital here. So often international marketing, you can use that word. It's okay. It's necessary. And in fact, if you look into this, you'll see that international advertising is not necessarily the same thing. So be careful. International marketing is seen as a way of intruding into a particular country. However, others challenge that opinion because you don't need a comma. They think it is vital for the economy and it is vital for spreading ideas. Yeah, for spreading. So it's vital for the economy and for spreading ideas, languages, and culture. That's what you wanted. And then the rest of it's fine. Okay, so let's move on. International marketing can be invasive is a word here, really. You have an adjective for it, so don't use the ing if an appropriate adjective exists for it. So international marketing can be invasive and intrusive to a country, as it could lead to competition without the A between locals and international companies, as well as leading to unnecessary display of products on people's social media accounts and on other places of product display. Okay. When there is competition without, again, the A here, when there is competition between local and worldwide vendors, it will lead to a drop in the business of local shops as the sales will be divided. Okay. Also, when there is a vast list of choices of a product being marketed, it leads, you have the word lead a lot here. Be careful with that. It leads to decision fatigue of the clients in that country. For example, I see so many choices from my country and other countries when I'm searching for electronic devices. Okay. So, this is okay. But if we really look at it very closely, we'll see that there are some issues with it. Let's see. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you said you needed a 7.5. Is that correct? Look through your email to see if that's true. So you do need a 7.5. And so that means that at least two of the criteria need to be at an 8. All right. And that's a really, really important thing to point out here. For me, what I'm seeing here is not 8 writing, and I want to explain to you why. You didn't entirely grasp the topic. Okay, and I can tell that just from looking at this one paragraph. So even if you grasped it perfectly in the following paragraph, the fact that you didn't totally grasp it here is not going to allow you to get, say for an example, an 8 in task achievement for this paragraph. So let's really pull this apart since this is what we're dealing with. These are the scores you need. I really want to give you as much information as I can here. I thought that this vocabulary here was far too close to what was used in the prompt. When you're looking at a band 7 and a band 8, it's really important that you're writing at a higher level using novel vocabulary, using higher level vocabulary. And so it would be ideal to see something that was not directly lifted from the prompt. Okay? So that's looking at this. Then, I really felt like you had some superfluous information here. Why are we talking about people's social media accounts and other places of display? It's not particularly important here. You don't go into social media, etc., etc. So I don't understand really why you went to all the trouble of writing it here. So you were basically talking here about competition between local and international companies, okay? Now, one of the things I mentioned to you is that you had the word lead quite a bit in this short span of time. So you had lead, and then lead, and then lead. There's so many other verbs here. And when you are aiming to get the score that you need, You really have to do a lot more in terms of some vocabulary here. Okay. Um, oh, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 times that I found just in this paragraph alone. Okay, so you got to be careful about that. Let's see. Okay, so international marketing can be considered an unwanted influence as it creates competition between local and international companies. Okay, so full stop there. When this competition occurs, local businesses will suffer as sales will be divided among. But you see, I can go on and correct it, but the problem is that you're no longer talking about marketing, but instead you're talking about international trade. And this is the other thing that I wanted to mention to you. You have to be absolutely clear about what international marketing is. So obviously, everything that we're talking about falls under globalization, but international marketing and international trade are not the same thing. So you have to be careful here. International marketing is very specific, and you have to make sure that you're talking about just that and nothing else. So you don't want to talk about the division of sales here, okay? What you want to talk about is the influence that these companies are creating with their marketing campaigns, what it's doing to the culture, why it's invasive, why it's intrusive, and so forth. Okay. Now I thought this was interesting. You talked about decision fatigue, and that's a great expression here. I like that. So when there is a vast list of choices of a product, when there is a vast list of choices of products being ing marketed, it leads to decision fatigue of the clients in that company. Okay, so you said you see so many choices, but you didn't extend it. So what you wanted to say is, for example, and you didn't have to say, I see so many choices. You could have said something else. You could have said something like, for example, when a customer is shopping for a cellular device, he or she may be overwhelmed by the countless choices he or she has from various international competitors. Okay? But then, why is this invasive and intrusive? Decision fatigue, as you're explaining it here, that's not just a problem of international marketing. That's just a problem of people having a lot of choices. Do you understand what I mean? So that could occur even with just one's domestic products that are available in the market. I don't know if that's making sense. What I'm trying to say is that the main ideas and the arguments that you present have to be relevant to international marketing. Okay. And they cannot refer just to any old marketing happening domestically. And that could be the case here. So, what you really want to talk about here is something that is directly related to a problem of the invasion and the intrusion of international marketing. Okay? Great. Okay. So, let's look at the next paragraph. However, this type of marketing can be useful to the targeted country as it can provide the people residing in that country useful information about other countries, their language, culture, ideas. When the target customers learn about the language and culture, it will enable the person to be more comfortable if he or she decides to visit that country. In addition, it is A, careful with the grammar here, a cheaper form of education because you don't need a comma here. When you see advertisements, you might learn new things about the country which has produced this. This provides you with the opportunity to get that knowledge at no cost for which otherwise you would have had to pay. All right, this is good. I like this. It's relevant, and you did a really good job of grasping the elements of the prompt that you needed to grasp. I would have liked a little more novel vocabulary once again. Look, language, culture, and ideas, a cheaper form of education. Um, you need to do a little more at the level that you're writing. So it's a good attempt. You're doing very well, but you need to take it an extra step further in order to get the scores that you need. Okay? So, fine grammar, very good. Um, Task achievement was nice. I still think you could have done a little bit more. Okay, especially at the scores that you need. Because in my mind, I keep thinking about this 8. You need 2 8s here at least. So, assuming that you also get those 2 8s in task 1. So, um, there needs to be a little extra here. All right, it's a good attempt, but I'm not convinced that it would earn 8s in any of the 4 criteria. So, that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at details in order to help you to get to that next step. All right. So, in conclusion, I believe international marketing is necessary and good, but as mentioned in this essay, there are some negative sides to it. Okay. Now, at a band 8, I don't want to see words like good. Good is so basic, it is so elementary in terms of language that I feel like it's very imprecise. And at this level, you need to be doing a lot more. Okay. You could have said international marketing is necessary and beneficial. It is necessary and a positive influence. Okay, but good just doesn't really say much about anything. So you need to do a little more there. Okay, so you have a lot of information to work with here. If you enjoyed this feedback, then I want to encourage you to sign up for essay corrections with us so we can continue to work together and help you get to that 7.5 that you need. I hope that we can work together, as I think we can definitely help you get there. So hopefully we'll see more writing from you soon. But the decision is yours. So I want to wish you tons of luck. Thanks for sending this in. Best of luck to you.
Bye.